How do you get others to do what you want without them at the end of the day feeling bad or feeling that they've been coerced or they've been forced? I believe this is one dilemma that many leaders face, that many managers face. Why? Because in our day-to-day work, we need others to do something for us or for the organization, or for the betterment of the team. And yet, it's not very easy to influence others. So today, I want us to look at how can you influence others so that you can be able to lead people and teams effectively. So when I'm talking about influencing, it's the ability to influence others on their behavior, attitudes, opinions, and even the choices that they make. So influencing is a skill, It's part of leadership, yes, but it's a skill. It's something that you can learn. It's something that you can perfect. It's something that you can be good at. And a lot of times when you talk about influencing, people think it's about manipulation, it's about the carrot and stick approach. No. Influencing, it's not about manipulating others to get your way. It's looking at what motivates others, what motivates your employees, what motivates your team, and even what motivates those that surround you. And then being at the same level with them, and thereby, if you make a request, they'll be able to see where you're coming from, they'll appreciate, and be able to do what you are seeking them to do. But the question then is, before I give you tips on how you can be able to influence others, the question is, why should you care? Why do we as managers and leaders need to learn influencing skills? Reason number one is because people have a choice and they decide each day how much or how little they'll give to that job. Someone could be coming to your office at 8 a.m. up to the end of the day, and you think they are doing much, but they could just be there because they need to earn their pay. Is this person motivated? Are they aligned to the goals of the organization? Are they working as a part of a team? So we need to know that people have a choice, and the fact that they are seated in that seat, it does not necessarily mean they are with you. You also need to know that in order to succeed, you can't only rely on your position or job title to make other people do things. Why? Because there are situations you might be asking someone to do, and they'll tell you guess what, Paminas, my contract says that I'm supposed only to work for 8 hours. Why are you asking me to remain behind? And yet that time, you really need them. I'm sure you've heard of companies where people just get in at that, when they are needed, and by the time it's 10 minutes to time, or even 30 minutes, they've already shut off and they're looking to go home. So those are not people who are engaged. It's not people who are interested with what they are doing. So as a leader, if you only rely on your title or job description to get things done, then be prepared for that occasion or for that moment where your job title will not mean anything and people will take actions as they want. And a case in point is when a company is not doing well. That's the time you really know whether people are working together. Because that time, if you don't have money and it's only the money which was keeping the staff there, they'll go. But if you come and explain to them, yes, we are not doing well, and you might even need to take a pay cut, but for a certain period, and after that you come back, I'll probably even pay you for those months you took a pay cut. People will understand and they'll be with you. So that time you'll have influenced them. Then we also need to know that the outdated control method is rarely effective and often leads to resistance. And I'll take you back to this country. If you look at the first two presidents, Mzee Jomo Kenyatta and Daniel Arap Moi, both of them were very, authoritative. But now, after the new constitution, Kibaki and Uhuru, they are more relaxed. We can say all we want. There's a freedom of expression, and they are using other ways to influence us. So I believe even in the workplace, yes, we may not be having a constitution, or you may be having one in form of your HR policy, but you'll agree with me, the days of really harassing people, the day of being the big man or the big woman, those are long gone. We are in the 21st century, and it helps if you influence people and not just be the person who shouts orders or gets your way. As one management guru said, the key to successful leadership today is influence, not authority. If you want people to follow you, if you want people to do what you want them to do, then you have to rely more on influencing and not authority. And today's discussion is even more important for those of us who are in SME, who are running SMEs. You could be managers, you could be a business owner who's running an SME. Because I think this is where we see a lot of disconnect between staff and the decision makers. I would highly encourage you to adopt, a leadership style which is more based on influencing as opposed to authority. Because people have options. Don't look at employees and you think, no, if this person, they're really relying on me, I'm special. No, people have skills. And more so if you're employing people who are skilled. People have skills. They can work for you, and if it doesn't work, they can go work for other people. It doesn't mean they will not suffer, but at the end of the day, just like somewhere you found them, it's also possible for them to go and practice their skills elsewhere. And I believe also that people are more productive if they are also invested in whatever they are doing, much more than money. I was discussing with another CEO that whenever you promote someone, money is important, but the reality is you only get excited, or as staff, you only get excited about money the first and the 2 months. By the 3rd month, they've already committed the money you added them as a promotion to other expenses, and they'll be where they were before. So beyond money, we need to think about how else can we be able to influence our staff? How can we be able to influence the people who report to us? So having said that, then how can you go about improving on your influencing skills? I have 5 tips for you. And tip number 1 is you should be able to establish trust and credibility. And the way to establish trust and credibility is you have to walk your talk. So this simply means if you make a promise, then keep that promise. It's as simple as that. And whether it's a personal level or at a professional level, we avoid people who don't keep promises. So if I give you 1,000 shillings today and you tell me you return in 2 weeks' time and you don't, and you keep quiet about it, I call you, don't pick, because the message you're sending to me is you're not trustworthy, and next time you have a need, I'll not be able to assist you. It's the same case at the workplace. So sometimes I see people, you employ people, you agree on a salary increase, let's say after promotion, or you agree on a certain bonus, and when someone does their part, you run away. Or that's the time you start telling them business is hard, things are difficult. Now, what are you telling that person? You are telling them next time you ask them to perform, next time you ask them to do a good job, you're not going to honor your word. So why should they go that extra mile? So always keep your word. Establish trust and credibility. The other thing you can do that really adds to you being able to influence is engaging others. So seek their opinions when it comes to important decisions. And here, important decisions, I mean more so those ones that affect them. A good example is what happened during Corona. It was a tough time. I know we are still facing the COVID challenges, but last year, 2020, was really a hard time. A lot of companies, a lot of managers had to call their staff and make tough decisions, either in terms of sending people home or even discussing measures to ensure that the company survives. And one of those measures was pay cuts. And I remember even us here at Corporate Staffing, we were affected by pay cuts. And it was a very difficult decision. But what I decided is I called the staff together, and one department, we do have 2 departments. There's one that caters for recruitment and one that caters for training. And training, the minute the president announced that there's a lockdown, Corona is here, all the trainings we had stopped. And so I asked the staff members, you have two options. We can send our colleagues home, the ones for training, or we can see how to accommodate each other. And people agreed for a salary cut. And so here for 7 months, from March to December 2020, we were working with salary cuts, and people supported each other. And that way we were able to navigate the situation. And because I sought their opinion, no one felt that, oh, my pay slip, I'm now receiving a salary reduction. So that really helped, and we were at the same page. So the other thing you need to do as a manager is understand other people's needs, motivations, values, goals. So have a genuine concern for the interest of others. Sometimes as managers, we believe that for the business to benefit, the employee must lose. No. In my experience, I believe both parties can benefit. So a good example is also that example I gave you about COVID. Surely, I know of companies that took advantage that we have COVID. There are a lot of people now who've lost jobs. So we're also going either to send some people away, or we send people away and we hire cheap staff. I know there are people who did that, and that's not a good approach. I also know of companies who said, we are going through these challenges, and what we are going to do is any money we make over and above these, we are going to share with the staff. So right now you're on a salary cut, but if the business improves by this margin, you also benefit. And that makes a lot of a difference. So someone knows I'm on a 60 or 70% pay cut, but as business recovers, I'm also seeing that reflect in my pay slip. So at the end of the day, it's not just the organization benefiting, but it's both parties. So that kind of transparency does help. If you're able to have a genuine concern for the interest of others, that really does help. I would also want to encourage you, and this is my fourth point, to set clear expectations and practice accountability, both for yourself and the team. Why? Because a lot of the conflicts we have in the workplace, they can be reduced by you, the manager, stating your expectation. As a leader, remember it is your responsibility to communicate your goals, your vision, and even the mission you want. So how do you expect others to perform if you've not been able to put them, to sit with them and agreed, this is how we are going to perform. This is the quality of work that I'm looking at you producing, And then not only do you keep the staff accountable, but also you yourself, you should be accountable. And your accountability might be availing the resources that are needed to execute. So to avoid a lot of conflict, to avoid a lot of fight, it's always good to have a sitting and clarify expectations for both parties. And now, as I conclude, you should be able to demonstrate openness. And being able to demonstrate openness means you are willing to listen to others' ideas, you invite and consider even alternative viewpoint. Why? Because we are not know-it-all. It doesn't mean because you are in that leadership position or because you are a manager, it doesn't mean you know it all. You'll be surprised by what that junior person, by that intern, by that person you hired last week. In fact, they might even be in a better place because they have a fresh perspective of the organization as opposed to you who's been there for long. So don't shut down diverse opinion. Don't shut down others' contribution simply because of their position. Embrace, remain open, and that way people will be able to see that, oh, this is a person who encourages a different viewpoint, and I will not be fired if I have a fight with this person. We can agree to disagree. I believe that if you're able to practice those 5 pointers that I've shared with you, then you'll be able to see that your level of influence will increase, and you'll be able to read the people that report to you, the team, and even the whole organization. And if you are there watching this video and you are a recent manager, or you are looking to get to that next level of management or leadership, and you're asking yourself, Paminas, which skills do I need? I would highly encourage you to attend a leadership course or to seek a leadership coach And we do offer leadership training services, and there's a link below with more information about our leadership courses. And I would want you to click on that link, find more information, so that when you're ready, you can come and we can be able to empower you to be a more effective leader. Thank you for watching.